to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP TV 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, Jack Ruland in SciCam 16, meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Tim Carl through sports. This is Newswatch 16.
If you're planning to travel this weekend on Interstate 80 anywhere near the Delaware Water Gap, you might want to plan some extra time. As you can see from these pictures taken from SciCam 16 within the hour, traffic is just terrible, a long line of cars. This is the first weekend drivers have to put up with construction work near a bridge on I-80. The problem is traffic is squeezed to one lane in each direction, and that means very slow going. This highway in Monroe County is especially busy on weekends, and this weekend is expected to be even worse. The cleanup at 3 Mile Island is near the halfway mark, and Wilkes-Barre rolls out the red carpet. These are some of the stories in tonight's Pennsylvania in a minute. The $1 billion cleanup of the damaged reactor at 3 Mile Island is almost at the halfway point. A spokesman says nearly 300,000 pounds of radioactive rubble have been taken out of the nuclear reactor. At least 100 new jobs are coming to Luzerne County. The announcement came today as Wilkes-Barre rolled out the red carpet to attract new businesses into Luzerne County. A new defense contractor called RAF Industries is moving into Mountaintop. The plant will make helicopter parts. And the Luzerne County Borough of Sugar Notch will get a $76,000 facelift courtesy of the state. The grant money will be used to build storm sewers and curbs and plant trees in the Main Street area. And that's Pennsylvania in a minute. They broke ground today in West Scranton for an addition to a ball field. But as Newswatch 16's Bob Reynolds reports, it was much more than a simple groundbreaking. The ceremony was a tribute to a man who has saved countless lives.
As we've grown up, most of us can remember someone who we've looked up to and admired. For many of the amateur athletes in West Scranton, Fred Battaglia has been such a man for the last 60 years.
And I've had the pleasure of meeting an awful lot of people. And when you make friends, I'm happy. It's nothing like friendship.
The Battaglia ball field was named in honor of Fred about 10 years ago. Now, ground has been broken for a field house which will also bear Fred's name. The new field house will mean big changes for a lot of folks around here. Right now, records and pictures and a lot of other things are stored in this old refrigerator. And a lot of the trophies which have been won over the years are not prominently displayed. Junior Colley is now a state representative. But years ago, he was just another ball player who came under the influence of Fred. Colley and many other men I talked to believe that Fred was their second father, a person who helped steer them away from life's many pitfalls.
We used to steal hubcaps. Freddie came to us one day up Paul's dad's store, and he said to us, "Why don't you come down the field and steal bases?" So he led us in the right direction. Right, Fred? That's right. I had my good days and my bad days. So Freddie would take me aside, take my dad and say, "Look, you know, if you had a bad day, tomorrow will be a good day." And when you say baseball in our area, you say Battaglia. No.
Fred Battaglia has been on this earth now for 86 years. His friends say naming a new field house after Fred just can never pay the debt they owe to Fred and what he's done for so many youngsters.
The man goes and raises all the money by himself, not Mr. Big Shot Gainer running around getting money and everything else. If I'm working on getting recreational funds or flood funds, I'm getting paid for it. That's my job. But the things that he's done his entire life, he hasn't been paid a penny, but I think that God's going to take care of him later on.
Bob Reynolds, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
What a nice sunny day for a groundbreaking, too. To the weekend, Karen?
No.
Yeah.
I could bite my tongue, Karen, after giving this weekend forecast. It's not going to last the sun. We have some rain on the way, and when we come back, I'll be telling you about how much. Now, you're watching Newswatch 16 on WNEP TV. We're proud to serve Donaldson and all of Schuylkill County.
It's old, but it's brand new. It's Gem Classic Cars. Gem Classic Cars is a brand new antique automobile museum. Marvel at over 30 classic antiques. A Rickenbacker, Auburn's, a Model T dating back to 1912. Gem will buy and sell antique cars, too. Later, motor over to the gift shop or shift into the snack bar. Take a trip to the tab. Gem Classic Cars Antique Automobile Museum, Route 443 between Tamaqua and Lehighton. Open every Saturday and Sunday, noon to 5.
If you live in the Pittston area and you don't want to drink discolored water from your tap, PG&W has clear drinking water available to you, a water tanker stationed at the Pittston Plaza. It'll be there all night and throughout the weekend if necessary. PG&W says the water in the Pittston area is discolored because of a reaction caused by materials used to adjust the pH. Officials say the lines are being flushed and the problem should clear up soon, but if you want clear drinking water in the meantime, you can go to that tanker at the Pittston Plaza. Right now, we'll go out to the backyard and find out this bad news for the weekend, Tom.
Hey, Karen, if you want clear weather, you have to head out to Montana this weekend. No sign of sun in our weekend forecast, except for maybe later in the day on Sunday, but we should see at least a half inch to about an inch of rain between now and Sunday afternoon. And in the backyard now, it's warm and kind of humid. In Canadensers now, in Monroe County, Catherine Straley tells me 66 at her place. Bob Sahutsky, my weather watcher in Mount Carmel, has 74, and he says it's muggy down there as well. John Rose in Susquehanna reports 70 in his backyard now under cloudy skies. Photographer Steve Smallwood today was near Montgomery in Lycoming County and got us a shot of that goldenrod today in some sunshine. 75 out back, humidity high, 62%. The wind from the southeast at 7. The barometer is now falling from 30.09. Topped off at 80 degrees here today. 74 is the average for this time of year. 53 that low this morning, 95 degrees. And this dates back in 1931. On Skywatch 16's live Doppler radar in the right of your screen over Pike County, a patch of blue indicating a light rain shower. And to the left of your screen over Northumberland County and parts of Union County and Snyder County. More blue, more light rain showers out that way. But elsewhere, it's just cloudy now. Checking the cloud photograph, a lot of clouds in the eastern part of the country. And what we have now is this cold front that won't get here until Monday. But out ahead of it, winds in the upper atmosphere, I'd say from about 8,000 feet on up. They're coming out of the south from the Gulf of Mexico, so there's no shortage of moist air this weekend. And down below 8,000 feet near the surface, the wind is coming off the ocean this weekend. And so we do have rain forecasted for both days this weekend. And lo and behold, another storm is going to be forming along this front as it moves on to the east and tracking up towards Pennsylvania, moving through the area tomorrow night and Sunday morning. And that's when I expect the heaviest rain to fall. And some of the computer models are indicating that we could see over an inch of rain overnight tomorrow night into Sunday morning. But in between those times, kind of like, before then, a couple of showers around from time to time. No steady rain through tomorrow and on Sunday. But tomorrow night is when we expect the steady rain. 27, the cold spot at Gunnison, Colorado this morning. Scattered rain overnight tonight. I think in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area, it'll hold off until after 9 or 10 o'clock. So if you're heading up to the football games, probably just a cloudy sky overhead. A mild night with temperatures holding in the 60s. Chance of a little lightning and thunder over the central counties later on this evening. The wind will be from the southeast. And the sunrise time tomorrow morning behind the clouds, 6:40, and the sunset at 7:19 tomorrow evening. So for tonight, cloudy. Rain showers developing. They have already started in some parts of the area, but most of them coming after midnight tonight, 63 out back. Then the showers and the rain kind of tapering down a bit through the day tomorrow. I think most of the daylight hours it won't be raining, but it will be cloudy. And then a shower here and there during the morning, but I think a cloudy afternoon. Then tomorrow evening, the rain will pick up once again. It could be heavy after midnight tomorrow night, and take your slickers to Beaver Stadium if you're heading up to the game there tomorrow night. It'll be raining. Scattered showers on Sunday. Karen, not an all-day rain on Sunday. We may see some sun late in the day. But,
well, there's lots of football on television this weekend, so you could stay inside and watch it.
Okay, that's a nice alternative.
Right. So, Tim Carlson is next with the Sports Watch and more on the Penn State-Alabama showdown. Plus, week 2 of the high school football season will preview one of the biggest Super 16 matchups. When the clock strikes, have the day, 'cause he's headed for golden line. It's a good time for the great taste. You know, and it's gonna, it's match tonight. high school football. Lots of games on tap, right?
That is putting it mildly, to say the least, Karen. 86 high school football teams ready to crank it up again tonight to begin week 2 of the football season. 9 Super 16 teams will play, including a real nice head-to-head matchup between number 4 Berwick and 14th ranked Coughlin at Coughlin's home field in Plains. Sports Watch 16's Al the Oxenrider is at the field right now to tell us more about the two clubs. Al?
Well, Tim, both Berwick and Coughlin need a win tonight. It's a big game for them. It always is between these two teams. They both have high hopes for 87. Tonight's game is real important, especially for Coughlin, because they lost last week, and they need a win just to get back to 1-1. Let's talk about week number 1 in high school football. It was a tough opener for Coughlin. They opened up against Nanticoke, and that's always tough. A touchdown pass in the first half gave Coughlin some momentum, but eventually with Nanticoke quarterback Jim McDermott on target, he was last week's sports star. Nanticoke took control, and they beat Coughlin 35-14. Berwick, meanwhile, played a good game in their home opener against Selinsgrove. Final in that game was 42-14 Berwick, and with that, the Bulldogs make up for last year's loss, and it started them off on a winning note. That's something that's very important to head coach George Curry, and he knows that it gets tougher and tougher every week with the schedule that they play, and tonight the focus shifts to Coughlin, and Coach Curry joins us now live. Stopping Coughlin tonight, what does that mean for you? Does that mean stopping Matt Walsh?
No, I think there's a little more than Matt Walsh. Walsh is a great back. He's one of the best backs that we're going to see all year. But they got a good fullback and a young fellow named Yasensky. They got an outstanding quarterback. And they got a burner and a kid named Wolf. And they got some great receivers. They got the big tight end in McCarthy, and they got a burner in the split end in Contrell. He caught the bomb last week against Nanticoke. So they got some real outstanding skill people. And I think we got to be ready on our toes in all phases of the game. Of course, Walsh is the key. You know, if we stop him, you can dictate, but he's the key.
And you were pleased the way you played last week. You should be ready for tonight.
Well, we did well on offense. Our defense isn't tested yet. You know, we didn't play a running team yet. Selinsgrove, they play arena football. They come out throwing, and you know, there's not much of a run, but we'll find out how good we are against the run, and I think that's what we have to find out tonight.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That's Coach George Curry of Berwick. Berwick number 4 and Coughlin number 14. Both highlights on Sports Final Tim, and it should be a good one. Al the Oxenrider live with the Instacam at Plains Stadium. Timmy?
And all the scores involving the 86 teams in 43 games and highlights from several games tonight on the 16 Sports Final. Well, Penn State is a slight favorite to beat Alabama at Beaver Stadium tomorrow night in the game on CBS at 8 o'clock. There's sort of a game within a game as we wait to see who turns out to be a better running back in that big game. Penn State sophomore Blair Thomas or Bama's Bobby Humphrey. You know, a lot of people think Blair Thomas and Bobby Humphrey are similar in style of play. A lot of people include Penn State head coach Joe Paterno.
They're both straight people. They're team-oriented people. They both block when they have to block. They catch the ball when it's thrown to them, and they can run with power, and they can run with speed, and they're elusive. They're two great football players when they're out there playing.
Well, last Saturday, Thomas had a good week against Bowling Green, rushing for 94 yards and 18 carries, and pulling off a big screen pass play for 67 yards and a touchdown. But Bama's Humphrey had a nice week, too, coming up with 84 yards and 17 carries and scoring 3 times against Southern Miss.
Well, I feel great about my performance this past weekend, simply for the fact I was able to get in the end zone 3 times. But I could have done a lot better than I did, and I'm planning on to improve myself as the week goes by.
Well, we'll see tomorrow night if it's Thomas or Humphrey winning the little game within a game. It starts at 8 at Beaver Stadium. And Pitt opens its home season tomorrow in a 1:30 start against North Carolina State. The Panthers, head coach Mike Gottfried, and the fans hoping they can put together another good effort. I say another good effort because Pitt really played a nice opening game against BYU a week and a half ago. After the Panthers let BYU score on their very first play from scrimmage, they really settled down to score the next 21 points and go on to win handily 27-17. NC State is coming off a loss to East Carolina last week. Of course, the Yanks, Nets, and big series tonight. We'll have all that tonight on the Sports Final.
Okay, so Madison, when Newswatch 16 continues, we'll visit a Susquehanna County couple married for 75 years. We'll look way back with them next.
What's hotter than a hot potato?
Cool bread.
Hot fudge ligatore?
Cool off with a cluster.
Now there's new salad bar pasta. With our sensational taste and evening mix, you create fresh salad.
With the coolness of buttermilk.
With pain of Italian.
The flavor is heaven.
New salad bar pasta. 5 cool sensations from Mine.
They make hot bread.
Not so hot.
40 brand new Toyota Tercels in a public sale at dealer cost or below. A major rental fleet canceled their order at the Toyota factory. The world of Earthly's massive buying power took all 40 brand new Tercels, not stripped down models, but all colors, styles, and options. Drive 50 miles if you must. You'll actually buy your new Tercel at dealer cost or below. Financing or leasing. Also, Celicus customers and supers discounted up to $3,500. This deal can't last. So get to a world of Earthly Toyota market staycation.
Finally, tonight we'd like to wish a very happy anniversary to Andrew and Maude Cook of Lennoxville. It's their 75th wedding anniversary. Newswatch 16's Valerie Devine went to their Susquehanna County home today to find their secret for staying happy together.
They say when you get married, you do it for better and for worse, for richer and for poorer, through sickness and in health. 97-year-old Maude Cook and 96-year-old Andrew Cook of Lennoxville have taken those vows to heart. On this, their 75th wedding anniversary, they can recall the day they got married back in September of 1912.
Our wedding was very quiet. They had a little reception after. We had reception after, but very quiet.
You liked it that way?
Yeah, I guess so. Didn't cost us much money. We didn't have much money those days.
But for the Cooks, money wasn't very important. Just being together and raising a family on their farm just a few miles down the road from where they live now. It was on this farm where newlywed Maude Cook got her nickname. To this day, Andrew still calls her Farmer.
I was going to help him with the milking, and I got out to help, and I was not good at milking. Instead of the milking coming down, the milk went up. So ever after that, he called me Farmer.
Andrew Cook still loves to talk about the horses he raised on that farm and his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren he's helped along the way. On this day, it was grandson Rick who made this couple's day. Besides flowers, there are also dozens of cards, even a special ornament for on top of their anniversary cake. How does this happy couple feel about all of the special attention? What else would you say on your 75th wedding anniversary? What would you like to say to Maude on a day like today?
Well, I'd like to say I'd like you with me. Glad you still with me.
After 75 years, you certainly couldn't ask for anything else. Valerie Devine, Newswatch 16, Lennoxville.
Happy anniversary. And that is Newswatch 16 for this Friday. Be sure to join us tonight at 11 when Tim Carlson and Albie Oxenrider will have all of the high school football on 16 Sports Final. For the team, including Nolan, who has this night off, thanks for joining us. Enjoy your evening.